Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to talk about the very important question and answer about technical project manager. If you know this answer of these questions, it is very easy to clear the technical project manager interview. So if you have any question, then you can comment on below. Then I will answer your questions. So the first question is maybe first question can ask like, how do you manage large cross geography program? So this question asking interviewer wanted to know the maximum team size, how you handle with the multiple geography. So you can answer maybe the establish governance, Rasi, clear milestone, set the clear milestone, and strong communication cadence. So what you need to do basically, first of all, you need to establish one clear governance model. Then you need to maintain the Rasi matrix, and then you need to create the milestone that should be the clear, and then cadence weekly once or twice you need to do that. And for the Rasi, you some maybe few people wanted to know the full form of the Rasi, what it is exactly need to be done in the tracking of Rasi. So basically Rasi is basically responsible, and then accountable, consulted, and the informed. So, responsible means what exactly? What do you understand on this? So, responsible basically the person who perform the work or they execute the task. That person is the responsible for the task. Accountable means the person who ultimately sign off and own the task. It should be your supervisor, it should be your AVP, anyone can happen. And then own the task, and there should be only one accountable person per task. And who all are in the consultant means uh, expert or the stakeholders. Let's say you have established a cadence, and you are creating the MM, so that person, so whatever discussion happen, you need to be send all this expert stakeholder, and then whatever the meeting team member attend that interview, all those concerned person. And then this should not be, it should be through two-way communication basically. And inform to whom you need to be informed. So first of all, in consulted option, you need to discuss with the expert stakeholder. That can be two-way communication. And the next is inform, means whatever discussion happen, to whom you are going to be informed. Like, people kept updated on the progress, typically via one-way communication. So this answer basically, if you wanted to answer in one liner, so this line will be your answer. Establish clear governance, Rasi, clear milestone, and strong communication cadence. Let's talk about the next question. How to establish governance? This one is the nested governance, a nested question. So define decision structure. Basically, to establish the governance, you should be define the decision structure. What is your decision? That structure should be defined. Reporting cadence, KPIs, red log, and escalation path aligned to the business goal. Now here, one point mentioned that KPIs and the red log. So KPIs will talk about the below question. So let me explain the red log. So what is in the red log basically? Red log, first of all, let me explain the red. What is the full form of the red? Red basically risk, assumption, issue, and dependencies. So this in each and every cadence meeting, you should be track the red log and tracking the red. Means what are the every meeting you need to discuss that what are the risks for this task and what are the assumption. Is there any issue ongoing? Active issue is there? So if it is there, then what are the solution you will provide? Think about the solution. Uh, Basically, the active issue require the resolution. And what is the dependency? D for dependency. What are the dependency for this task? So that need to be closed. So this is how you can explain that established governance. Let me talk about another important questions. Okay. So now the question is, what is Rasi? Rasi is a responsibility matrix define who is responsible, who is accountable for this particular task, and those who are consulted, and the informed for each deliverables. So this answer I already explained in detail in previous question. Now the next question is how to build a clear milestone. So this is another important question for the managers. This question used to ask by the interviewer, like to build a clear milestone, you should be break project into measurable phase, gets with the defined deliverables, honors, and acceptance criteria. So whenever you get a task, you need to create into different chunks. WB is basis actually measurable component you need to create. So measurable phase gets with the defined deliverables, honor and acceptance criteria. And another question I can ask, this one is the very important question, like how do you handle fixed price delivery risk? Like define strict scope. You can answer using this line, like define strict scope baseline. I mean, you need to set up a scope baseline and the change control and proactive risk mitigation. These three things is the key for the fixed price delivery project or a risk. Let me talk about the next question. How do you ensure on-time delivery? Like your answer should be use the milestone tracking. On-time delivery is the key thing. You should use the milestone tracking, red log monitoring, and daily execution governance. These three things is the key for on-time delivery. You should remember always. Now they can ask like how do you manage scope creep? So you can answer like implement formal change request process with impact analysis. So scope creep is the very important question. Like uh, in real time project, many times you need to the close eyes on scope creep because client sometime ask the whatever duration and the budget has fixed. During that they used to add the different enhancement, or they used to add more task during this budget, within this budget and within this time scope limit. So what you need to be, uh, you know take care. So for that, answer of this question is scope creep. That is the scope creep basically. So using change request process, you need to avoid this scope creep. Now, they can ask like, how do you recover a delayed project? So you can answer like re-baseline plan, using prioritized critical path, and they allocate focused resources. Using these three key metrics or three key feature, you can answer that. You can recover a delay projects. Now they can ask you, you are giving a manager interview, so interviewer can ask you like, how do you manage multi-vendor environment? So you can explain like define SLAs, integration checkpoints, and vendor performance KPI. So these are the key thing that you can handle multi-vendor environments. Now, the next question is they can ask like, how do you track program health? If you are, working on the live project, or maybe someone, those who are seeing my video, or maybe someone, first time they want to give interview of the technical project managers, they might not happen the live scenario. So they should know that how track the program health. So you can answer this question about I use KPI like SPI, CPI, velocity, burn rate, and the defect density. So we will talk about in detail like what are the parameters and how we used to uh, maintain the SPI and CPI. So then we will talk about later. How do you, and the next question will be, how do you manage stakeholder expectation? So you can answer like provide transparent reporting and early risk communication. Using the transparent reporting and early risk communication, you can manage stakeholder expectation. The next question will be the how do you define success criteria for the particular project, for the particular task? So you can mention like align measurable outcomes with business objective and KPIs. Maybe the further next question, nested question they can ask, talk about later. So how do you handle executive escalation? So in real life project, this is happen every time, every project. So you can answer like present data backed root cause and mitigation plan confidently. So the escalation, to handle the escalation, it is key thing that you talk about with the data, because data will talk everything. Data will talk what are the thing happen, why it is happen, all this thing data will tell, instead of saying the verbal communication, or you should communicate with the data. And also, meanwhile, also you can find out the root cause, and you can show the mitigation plan. Whatever thing happen, you can give the mitigation plan confidently. The next question will be, when do you choose agile versus waterfall? So you can mention agile for the resolving scope, and the waterfall for the fixed regulated requirement. So when your task or your project have the fixed requirement, then you can choose the waterfall. And when it is the evolving scope, identifying the scope, then you can use the agile method. Next question can be, how do you manage hybrid delivery? So you can answer this question like use waterfall and planning agile for the execution cycle. Now, the next question is also important because they can ask further nested question like how do you scale agile for the large program as you are handling the 30 plus team. So that time it is important to know that how do you scale agile or large program like implement SAP. You can answer like implement uh, safe or scaled Scrum with the cross team sync ceremonies. Why I have given each question in separate slide because it will be easy to understand and you can also note down this question and answer in your notebook so that when you will prepare the interview maybe after a month or week, so it will be help to understand. And if you, apart from this, if you wanted to know anything else regarding this TPM, then you can comment on this. You can comment below. I will definitely reply. So the next question can be, how do you manage cloud transformation program? So the answer of this question should be the plan phased migration. You can always, whatever the project you will be start or handle, so you should be phase wise migration. You should plan cost modeling. You need to take care, and the security validation also need to take care. The next question will be, how do you build a risk mitigation strategy? So build a risk mitigation strategy. You can explain like identify early, quantify impact, assign honor, and track weekly. Here the track weekly written here you can mention. You can also add on here like track weekly or track twice in a weekly. So that is depend on the project to project. How do you manage budget overrun? So here you can mention like to manage budget overrun, we will optimize the scope and reallocate budget and the renegotiate the contract. Using these three key thing, you can manage budget overrun. How do you handle underperforming team members? So you can mention to handle underperforming team members, provide feedback, coaching, and measurable improvement plan. That plan should be measurable, and if required, then you can ask to take training, or you can give a coaching and provide the feedback to improve that lacking area. Next question should be, how do you ensure quality in delivery? This is very important whenever you are going to accountable for the particular task or project or responsible for the task execution, then you should be answerable for this question like implement. You can explain to interviewer like implement QA checkpoints and automated testing coverage. The next question should be, how will you manage C-level stakeholder? So you can answer of this question like provide concise dashboard focused on the value and risk. So concise dashboard means you can showcase In the dashboard, few important KPI, which are the critical KPIs you can show in the dashboard. Next question can ask like, how do you manage AI and or Gen AI initiatives? So you can answer like define business use case, governance, and measurable KPI. You can manage AI and Gen AI initiatives. Next question can be asked if client cuts 20% budget mid project. So what if client cuts 20% budget in mid project? So what you will do? So your answer should be recognize scope and adjust roadmap accordingly. If you wanted to know this answer of this question in detail, then you can comment on my comment. I will explain later. Next, interviewer can ask like describe a failed project and learning as per your experience. So you can answer like emphasize accountability, corrective action, and process improvement. Will be using this feature, this three concept. You can describe the failed project and learnings. Next question can ask like, what is your leadership style? So you can explain the situational leadership with the data-driven decision making. That is the key answer, data-driven decision making. So thank you. All of you, if you like this question and this video, then you can definitely comment or subscribe. And if you need any further video or further any of the detail about these questions, so you can comment below, or you can ask. I will explain. Thank you very much.